Hey guys, Jeff here from Ghost Knight Gaming, and here we are. We're doing another cosplay vlog for you guys to check out. Basically, right now I'm in the middle of waiting for some additional material for a couple of the other projects I've got on the go. So I'm going to start working on a new project that I've been wanting to start for a couple of weeks now, and you guys are going to get a chance to check it out as I get started. So if you guys have been checking out my Facebook page, you'll also know that I've been doing a bit of drawing the last little while, so I've been working on some templates. And if you don't recognize this, as I start making it, it'll start to come together. So what I've done is I've taken a look at the templates I need for the projects I've got on go, and in this case it's the Kokiri Sword and Deku Shield from Final Fantasy. Why did I say Final Fantasy? Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, for a young Link cosplay that I'm working on for one of my kids. So obviously, but basically what I'm getting at is I'm not only am I getting into cosplay, but I've got my kids into it. They love dressing up, and they love the dad dresses up, likes to make costumes, make outfits, props, the whole nine yards. The kids love it. So I thought, hey, why not? Why don't I do something with the kids so that they can enjoy doing this too? So I got thinking about what would be the best thing to do, and I've started working on a group project with all of my kids to do a full Legend of Zelda kind of cosplay project. Now I'm playing with it a little bit. The kids are all going with the relatively traditional outfits, and I'll get into more in some of that stuff because I'm doing a lot of the prop work where I've got other people helping me out with a lot of the actual outfits, the Link's tunic and stuff for young Link. But I'm doing most of the prop work. Also, I'm improvising a bit with adult Link, because that's going to be me. And I'm going to go with a more custom armored Link. And I've been working on all my source footage, photos and planning out what props and stuff I want to do. And I've got a couple of the props drawn out. If you check out my Facebook page, you can see at least pictures for one of them. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'll be starting to show you some of the other templates, and even maybe just working on the templates for you guys to check out. I'm going to keep you guys posted as much as I can, so if you guys are interested in checking out what I've got going on, definitely stay tuned for all the videos I've got on the go. But I'm going to talk, well, I'm going to talk the whole time anyway, but I'm going to start showing you what I'm working on. So I've got my template drawn out. I've sized out what I want the sword and the shield to look like. So now all I got to do is cut out my template, and I'm going to start applying it to foam. So I'm going to make the sword too thick, two thin sheets of foam. This is like 1/4 inch foam thick, but I'm going to make the shield just one sheet thick right now. I'm going to experiment with a bit with that one to see what I'm going with, because I want to keep it relatively lightweight for my son, and then see how it looks once I start applying the wood grain look to it. That's going to be something new for me to try out here. So first thing I've got to do, I've got to cut out my templates. Otherwise, well, we can't get any further in this conversation. So with my nice metal straight edge, I'm going to find my lines that I've drawn for my template, and I'm going to very carefully start cutting along my straight edge. This saves me having to actually hope that my shaky hands can draw a straight line trying to freehand it. Definitely, if you can save yourself some trouble and some frustration, and you've got a bunch of straight lines on your project, do that. Use the straight edge, line it right up, butt it right up with your lines, and then cut with your X-Acto knife to create that nice, clean line that you want. Now, for curved lines, if you have an item in your house or whatever you used, maybe even to create that initial template, to create those lines, use that to cut it if it's doable. That way you can make sure that your lines are as straight as you've got them, and that you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of going way over there. Following. Sorry, I'm basically proving myself wrong here as I try to cut this. Make sure I've got a straight line. go over this. This is thicker paper than I normally use, which is a good thing, because it means that my my template is going to be considerably more durable than just a sheet of paper, and that's the only dilemma I've got with the templates, my sword templates right now, is that the paper, I don't know how durable my paper is going to be, so what I may end up doing is transferring those particular templates to a more durable form of paper, just to make sure that my lines stay where I want them to, and that my template doesn't disintegrate from use. So eventually I need a bigger table. My table serves the purpose, but I need more room to work with, especially with enough space to put out my cutting sheet. And with a lot of my projects starting to get bigger and bigger, needing more room to cut, more room to draw out templates, having more space to work with is always better. So, hoping in the near future to do a bit of upgrading as far as table space and just the quality of my workspace will hopefully improve in the near future. Just, you know, if you're going to be working on something for a couple hours, you know, you want to make sure you've got enough space to work with. Because right now I have finished pieces or partially finished pieces kind of laying about all over the place. I finally sorted out most of my templates, so there's still some kind of laying about and roaming about. Alright, let's carefully pull out the shield. I'll fix that cut. To here. I don't want a shortcut on this because I want the quality to be there on all my cuts. So nice straight lines. Move this up just a wee bit. There we go. Alright. So there you go. Deku shield. At least obviously not exactly my size, but that'll definitely be perfect for my son. So now we've got our Deku shield cut out. I'm going to cut out the Kokiri sword. So I'm going to have to play with this, and this is going to be something I'm going to work on slowly as I progress, is I could potentially do this in multiple parts, and I may try doing so just because I need a slightly thicker crossguard, and then I want to round the handle to make it, you know, usable, somebody can hold it. So we're going to improvise. We're going to try a couple of different methods here, so this is going to be a little bit of trial and error. This will be one of probably about 4 different swords that I'm working on for different projects, swords / knives. I need, just for this group cosplay alone, I need 3 swords and a knife. And in addition to that, I've got a particular magic hammer I need to make happen that I'm going to be working on as well. And you guys will get to check that out coming pretty soon. Alright. Cutting all the edges for the sword. Okay. There we go. Voila. There we go. We got a sword blade. Now we're going to go across, start cutting out the cross guard. You want to make sure your knife is nice and sharp for this. So you don't want to get too many random cuts or rough spots on your template when you go to cut it out and when you go to draw it onto your foam that you're working with, or whatever material you're actually working with. There's a lot of options for different material in it. As I work on this more, I'm definitely going to start checking out different types of material and working with different types of material. Right now I'm doing with this all with foam. I know some people use things like balsa wood. You can use cardboard. You know, everything, all of it is definitely viable as materials to use, or mixes therein of. I could use balsa wood as a core for this to support it. I'm gonna actually use wire for the inside of the form of this blade, just to create that stability, so that it kind of doesn't flop around like some of those toy foam swords that you may find. Alright, I'm just going to come across here. Start there. Straight across. Straight across. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to cut out the whole template, and then if I decide to cut it out smaller or in smaller bits, I'll do that as I go. This part where I made a little bit of a mistake with my cut. Alright, hopefully that'll be okay. Alright, now I've got some really kind of fine detail per se down here at the pommel. I'm going to decide, oh, pardon me, oh, pardon me, what I kind of want to do with that from there, because I can make that all fancy and then attach it, or, you know, I can keep it fairly simplistic. Alright, let's see if that all comes out nice and neat. Okay, I'll be very, very careful here. I'll find another cut along that line, just to make sure it cut all the way through. Do this side as well. There we go. Alright. That should be a lot easier to come out. Oh, stick it. Ah. Alright. One more line to cut again. There we go. Alright. So, voila. Clean up the edge a little. Voila. We have one Kokiri sword. Very nice, eh? Alright. So, now we've got our two pieces there. We've got our two props. I'm going to put this sheet of paper just over here. So you can use it again for other templates. Reuse as much as you can, especially if you're on a budget. Alright, so now I've got one sword, one shield, and it's time to put those attached to foam. So I make sure I write down what these are so I know, since I'm doing two sides to this one, I'm going to mark this as front, and this is back. There you go. It's So I'm going to mark that so I know which is front. Shield. Front. Like so. Alright, so now we're going to apply some foam to this. So I'm going to pull out this piece of foam here. I'll move that. So we're going to start with the sword. So I'm going to go as close to the edge of the foam as I can. Play it down a bit. Alright. So, checking for imperfections in my foam, just in case I want to avoid those to save myself some trouble. So go back to our trusty fabric pins, or sewing pins. Oh, I'm going to stab myself in the fingers here. Grab a bunch. We're going to pin this down at various points. So we want to make sure that your template isn't going for a walk on you while you're trying to draw your template out. Pin at different points just to get the whole thing to stay down. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough for you guys. Let's try being a little bit louder. So I'm going to make two pieces for the sword, because then I'm going to put some wire and stuff in the middle to strengthen it. And then I'm going to sand and sculpt the blade to get the edge that I want. So that's going to be a very long, probably rather tedious task of sanding all the blade down to get what I want. I could Dremel it, but because I have to cut so much of it, I don't want to risk ruining what I've got at this point. So I'm gonna try the slow way, see how that works, and take my time, just so I don't have to be making like a dozen blades over the course of the next little while. Alright, so we're going to draw out our lines using a Sharpie. So we're going to just try it as the whole thing, see how it looks. Nice and good. I don't want the paper coming up to have me drawing underneath, so that's why we pin this well in place. Make sure our lines are straight. All the way up there, all the way up along this edge. Alright, so there's our first lines, or our first drawing of our template. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my template over for the back of it, labeling this side, the actual foam, as front as well. Right. I'm going to take it, and as you can see, there you go, template's relatively straight. I call this F for front. Then we're going to flip this over. Another good spot to put it. We're going to pin it in place again. Just use the same pinhole so that way I'm not making my template holier than it needs to be. Like so. Alright, and we're going to draw it out again, just like we did before. Just start different spots. Draw that. Okay. Like so. actually drawing on my template for me. Drawing on my template for reasons unknown, maybe because, well, handshakes. Alright, almost done. Alright, time to remove the pins. Pin. Yep, see, more pins. Pins everywhere. Alright, so there we go. We're going to put our template off to the side. We've got both sides of what is going to be our blade. So now I'm going to go back. Got the back piece. And now we're going to cut it. So I want to be very careful. I want to keep all my lines. I don't want to lose the shape of my blade because I want both sides to match up very cleanly. To minimize the extra sanding I've got to do in addition to the sanding I already have to. I'm going to turn this in a way. So having enough room at your work table, making sure you have enough space, you're not knocking stuff over like I'm doing. It gives you the ability to make the cuts the way you'd like to without risking too many extra cuts in the wrong direction. So make sure you're taking your time. Cut slowly along your lines. Go along. Like so. Now I gotta really be careful to get in here. I don't wanna. There we go. I can cut that better with the X-Acto knife if it doesn't quite cut out the way I'd like it to. I can clean that little spot up there with the X-Acto knife for more precision. I'm gonna be careful I don't cut into my other half of my sword here. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright, and we're making progress here. We're almost done. First half of the sword. Turn that whole sheet. There. So now I want to be very careful in my pommel point. Oh, there we go. And there we go. And finally the last two sides, or maybe I started cutting the other blade. Ah ha ha ha. I did. I started working on the other piece apparently because I was totally paying attention to what it was doing. So at least it started cutting that side. Alright, so let's go very carefully cut there. It's back to what I was originally doing. Really thought that one through. Okay, now down the handle. Alright, let's see if I can get this out with minimal trouble. There. A couple places are sticking a little bit, but nothing. A little bit of brute force and arrogance can't handle. That's the great thing about cutting foam is it's actually pretty easy to kind of manhandle a bit. Alright, so there's the first half of our sword. Look at that. Nice and fancy there. So let's finish cutting the other half. And then we've got two pieces of a sword done. Alright. Try not to rush here. I'm getting excited here. Getting this first bit done. Officially starting this new project. Depending on who you talk to, there's, you know, you might not necessarily want to overstretch yourself with projects, especially if you're like me and just starting out, but at the same time, I'm kind of in a situation where my other projects are kind of on hold until I get some of the other material I need, paints or other actual materials to build pieces of the build. So instead of staying idle, and because I've got some of the material I need for other projects, it makes sense to kind of get those projects started on the go and up to various stages of development, because once I get some of the material in, I've kind of intentionally planned to have a little bit extra of the paints and stuff like that, so I planned ahead a little. So once I pick that stuff up, I'm actually going to have enough for, you know, the next couple of projects that I'm working on here. So this one and another group build that I've got on the go, and you guys will probably see more of that in the coming week or so, because I'm going to try to be more updatey as best I can within my work and life schedule. Sadly, life has gotten pretty busy the last little while, and I don't know how much busier it's going to get. So there we go. So there is our sword. Both halves are going to go together, and actually they line up pretty good. I may have to do a bit of sanding to clean them up, but I'm going to support them inside with, I'll grab that, with this. So you can get this at the hardware store. Things like that'll do thin metal sheets, balsa wood, depending on where you're going. Take into account if you're going to go to a lot of conventions with your cosplay. Definitely look at their policies on what materials you can use that are safe to use. If you're doing this just for pictures or whatever, you have a little bit more freedom to work with. But put this inside, and basically it'll keep it from, you know, doing this, which is what it does right now. So once I support that, it'll actually stay nice and rigid. Alright, and then from there it's going to be sanding down the edges here just enough to create that edge that I'd like to create with the blade. And then we seal it with our heat sealing, plastic dipping, whole 9 yards. Then we can paint it and add some of the extra details. Like there's a little gem that goes right here that I'm going to add. I do want to cut out 2 more pieces of the handle just to go around it. Maybe. I might not, because I'm going to sand down in here anyway. And then find a way, either by wrapping the handle or whatever else, playing with it a bit, to kind of create that point that's here, or that round shape, more comfortable shape for it to be held. Okay? So basically now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to start looking at this. So when you're working with stuff, be careful. It can be pokey at the end, so if you need to, wear gloves. So, and then grab something to cut them with. It's pretty durable. You may need wire cutters, line them in pliers, or snips of some kind. But you're going to take this and you're going to run it along the frame of this here. Now, just putting one layer in is probably not going to do me any good. So I'm going to want to take out enough of this to be able to bring it in here. Now, what I'm going to want to do is, and this is where lines been come in, and apparently I can't find mine. I put them somewhere. So I'll have to do this at a later point, and I'll take pictures and put that up on my Facebook page for you guys to check out. But you're going to want to shape it to the blade. Now, depending on how thick your foam is or how thick this is, you may actually have to Dremel in here to create an indent for it so that it sits in and it doesn't make your blade bulge out. I'm not too worried about the blade bulging out a little bit here because I'm going to sand down and clean it up. So, and then you're going to put that in, line it up. You're going to do your contact cement all the way down each piece of the blade with those pieces inside. And then once it all dries, you're just going to altogether, just like so. All right, so that's it for me for now. I'm going to keep working at this. I'll probably also record the shield after, and I will show you guys all the project progress. I'll take pictures, the whole 9 yards. It'll be on my Facebook page. It'll be on my YouTube channel, the stuff I've done. So if you guys are interested in this, definitely give me a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel, so you can see more of my projects and more of the do-it-yourself and work in progress of making props for various costumes and cosplay, Halloween, costume, anime, game conventions, whatever. I do all kinds of stuff. Definitely, if you guys want to see more of this, let me know. I also do gaming videos, top 10s. We've got another top 10 coming up in the next couple of days. If not, it's already up. With another one coming up right in time for Halloween. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and have fun. Enjoy being creative, and keep gaming.